Welcome to Have I Got Good News for You, where we look at a news item and think about what does God say into that and what's he saying to us today. Now I wonder if I said the name Folajimi Olubunmi Adewole. If I said that to you, I wonder if it would ring any bells. Well, maybe if I said Jimmy Adewole, you will immediately think, oh yes, that is that young man who jumped into the Thames and tried to save a woman. Well, that is indeed what happened. So he was on his way home from work and a woman was in distress in the Thames, and he sees it. Jimmy sees her and decides to do something. He's with a friend and he phones the police, and he stands there completely helpless, and he does the only thing he thinks will save the woman. He jumps into the Thames to try and save her, and in so doing he gives his life. He pays the ultimate price and dies, and the woman is eventually saved. Now what a heartbreak for his parents and his family, total tragedy. And there's been cause for him to be honoured because of his bravery and his courage in the way that he just totally selflessly gave his life to save someone. So this is a tragic story, and there's nothing that I can say or anybody can say to lessen the terrible tragedy and the grief that that is for his friends and his family. And on Have I Got Good News for You, very often there's a happy ending, but it feels like, is this a happy ending? It really doesn't feel like that today, certainly not for Jimmy, and certainly not for his family, but maybe for the woman who survived this terrible ordeal. When I was listening to the events, I thought about a verse in the Bible where St. Paul says these words. He says, "Very rarely will anyone die for a righteous person. For a good person, they possibly might dare to die." And it's interesting, isn't it? Because Jimmy didn't know the woman. He didn't know if she was good or if she was righteous. But he just instantaneously, without any thought for himself, decided to jump in and to save her. Now, after Paul says the words about sacrifice, he actually talks about Jesus making the ultimate sacrifice. Of course he did. He paid a price, the price of his life, and he was the good person, so that we could live, so that we could know freedom and forgiveness. And he did that not because we earned it or we deserve it, but just because he loves us. He wanted to do it. It was the plan of the Father to save us, to help us. I wonder what we would have done if we'd been walking home from work on a dark, cold April night and we'd seen the woman drowning. What would we have done? Would we have jumped in and tried to save her? Well, hopefully we'll never be faced with that choice, but the question, I guess, is what will we do when we are next faced with a challenge and somebody needs help? What will we do? Will we respond at personal cost to us, or will we walk on the other side like the story of the Good Samaritan, the people who did that, or will we help? And of course, because Jesus died for you and for me, actually the good news is that we are able to respond when we see people in need of help. One of the things Jesus says to people who choose to follow him is pick up your cross and follow me. It involves sacrifice. And the challenge today as we think about this news item is, are we willing to sacrifice things, ourselves, our time, in order to help somebody else? So today we thank God for Jimmy's life, and we pray for his family and his friends, all those that are affected by his death. We pray that they will know the peace of God and his loving arms around them. We will pray that he will be recognised, and we will give thanks for his life. And we also pray that God will help us when we are faced with challenges that involve sacrifice. God bless.